Well, let me show you the garden. This is the first the first day in about a week that we haven't had rain, and it still might, who knows, but let me show you what's going on, and then I'm going to explain why I use containers when I have lots of land to garden in. So this is 4 earth boxes with watermelons. The majority of them are seedless watermelons, but seedless melons have to have a pollinator. So some of them are Charleston Gray, and those are Haas seedless and Haas Charleston Gray. The Charleston Gray comes with the seedless watermelon. The watermelons have run out into my garlic, which I need to pull. I'll be pulling that garlic. Got 2 rows of garlic, and those clumps you see sticking out of each one of these earth boxes is marigolds. I found last year, and it may have been a fluke, but I found last year that the any cucurbit, cucumbers, squash, melons, things of that nature, any cucurbit I had, that if I planted a marigold with it, I just did not have hardly any problems with squash bugs, and squash bugs are the bane of my existence. Squash bugs and vine borers. So I planted a marigold just kind of in the center of each of these earth boxes. I've got four plants, 4 watermelon plants, and 1 marigold plant right in the middle. So here are my Cabernet Sauvignon grapes, and in grow bags, doing fantastic. They're probably growing an inch a day, maybe more than that. I mean, they're really growing, and have clusters of grapes on them. Now, I'm not much of a grape grower, so somebody else around there that is, tell me whether or not I should pull those clusters off. For me, I want to keep them and make some jelly. I probably won't be making wine out of this, but I dang sure make some jelly. I've heard the Cab Sauves will make good jelly. So do I need to pull those clusters off? Because, you know, each one of these has probably a couple of clusters, and I just don't know whether the plant's going to be too small to handle that or what. So what do you think? Should I pull the clusters off or let them go? Please write that in the comments below. So let's go look at something else. Well, here's my row of squashes. These are first ones here in grow bags, 10-gallon grow bags, and these got these tubs underneath them to catch the water so the grow bags won't dry out so fast. But they're well above my waist as far as tall. They're probably 3 feet tall, and I picked a bunch of squash already. Just now picking them off these, I picked a bunch of squash off the ones in wicking tubs, and I'll show those from down here. But leaves are huge, leaves are green. We've had so much rain, I might be getting some little powdery mildew or something there. I need to come through after all that rain. I need to come through and spray just about everything down with some liquid cop to try to kill that, try to kill any fungus that might want to start. This is basically my row of peppers, but I do have a Swiss chard here. I planted, one of them didn't germinate, and I planted it late, so I've got a little dinky one on the end over here that's really getting shaded out by these huge ones. We picked some, we just can't stay up with it. There's so much, and need to take some off and take it to my daughter, because she loves such things as that, greens and stuff. I'm not a big greens guy. These are, well, it's a mixture. These are Fooled You jalapenos back in the back. Those are Fooled You jalapenos. And then I've got some banana peppers here on the front. I've got some bell peppers there. That's a pretty good sized bell pepper right there. That's big as a baseball. And these are Mamma Mia Rosso, R-O-S-S-O. Pretty good sized pepper, but they get real big. I've got some bigger ones down in there. That's not a bad pepper. They will turn red, but it's you can eat them when they're green. We usually do. More banana peppers. That one's about 8 inches long. Same with that one, about 8 inches long. Good gracious, that's a good one. That's a good banana pepper right there. These I planted late. It's a new seeds that Hoss came out with and sent me some and wanted me to try them. And they're all giant. There's a giant cayenne, a giant serrano, and a giant jalapeno. All three of them. They're blooming, but they hadn't started putting out yet. All right, maters. Time to look at some maters. So this is the last one I planted, and it is a red snapper that I raised from seed from Hoss. And I've got one little dinky mater right there, and it's got a crack in it. Again, even though these are wicking tubs, when you just have constant water and no sunshine for days, I mean for a full solid week, it's tough on these plants. They like to have sunshine. Tomatoes love the heat. I've got some big ones down in there. Those are pink brandywines. So I do expect those to be big. And I think I saw a bug on one. I've got a spray, and I just got a spray. So these tomatoes here are, let me look at my tag down there. Oh yeah, these are the Mountain Vineyard. It's a new tomato that Hoss came out with, or that Hoss found, and big clusters, supposed to be really prolific, and it looks like they are. I haven't had any ripened tomatoes yet of any kind, but that Mountain Vineyard looks really good. These are this is Florida 91 tomatoes. Supposedly in the summertime or in the heat, they set tomatoes better than most. It's I think the #1 tomato grown in Florida, and because it does set in the heat. So the first time I've grown them, we're just going to try it. I'm trying to find something that will set in the Texas heat in July, maybe even August. But this may or may not be it. I don't know, but we're going to try it. And they're definitely looking good. This is red snapper, and it is loaded down. Got maters everywhere. Again, they just need some good sunshine and some unclouded days. They tell me of a home of the unclouded day. I don't know, I've got this marked somewhere. That's got to be a Tachi. That says red snapper. I don't believe it. I think that's a Tachi, which is a Roma tomato. I think I mixed that one up. So that's probably going to be a Tachi, which I grew last year, which were extremely prolific. Look at that. They get big. In fact, they broke my cage down last year. So I need to watch that. Red snapper. This one's got to be red snapper. That one, I bet you, is a Roma, even though it's marked as red snapper. They'll start ripening soon, and when they do, I can't hardly wait. We'll get us some maters. Okay, on to the vertical garden. I'll try to run through this pretty quick. Cucumber plants. These are purpless cukes, and again, I've got that marigold planted right there in the midst of them. But that's a nice looking little old cuke. Purpless cucumbers. I've got 2 earth boxes planted with the purpless cukes. Now I've got 2 more earth boxes planted in those yard-long beans. This is the green yard-long bean that I grew last year. That is a red yard-long bean. In fact, these green ones are seed that I saved from last year. The red is some seed I got last year but didn't plant. So we're going to try a red yard-long bean. Never tried those before. All right, now let me show you the catastrophe. So here is the catastrophe. And that is potatoes that are just waterlogged. So I've got to get them out of the ground. I'll start digging for sure tomorrow, which is Monday. They're drowned out. and I've got to get those taters out of the ground. And because this between the rows was just standing in water, but it's just, we got lots of rain. So that's part of the catastrophe. Let's move on. I'm glad I planted the other cucumbers because these are just sick looking. These last week, these beans, these are momentum green beans. They looked fantastic last week. Blooms all over them, and now they're just yellow. They've got just so much water, and so I don't know whether they're gonna make it or not, even if we have a few dry days. This McCorn, I don't know what to think of it. It's only 4 feet tall, and it's already tasseling, and it's already silking. And I don't know if that is normal for temptress sweet corn. I know sweet corn doesn't get as tall as field corn, but boy, that just seems short to be already tasseling. And I just wonder if it's not the crop thinking that it's gonna that it's gonna drown, and it's trying to put out going ahead and trying to make a crop, make their seeds, in other words, to reproduce itself. I don't know. I've got to get in here, and I don't even know if I can walk in there. It's just, I don't know whether it's going to make or not. Got to have a fertilize, got to be fertilized. So I'm going to come in here with some of that Chilean nitrate and side dress, and then try to pull, try to cover it up with a hoe, and or a wheel hoe perhaps. But this is the catastrophe. People have asked me, why in the world, with all the land I've got, am I gardening in containers? One of the reasons I have gone to containers is because of the weather factor. That's the reason the earth box was invented. Name was Whisenhunt. He's in Florida. Harvey came through and just destroyed his entire, I don't know how many acres and acres and acres of tomatoes. And he said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way I can control the amount of water that goes into these tomato plants. They just drowned out under Harvey. And he developed, that's when he developed this earth box. It's even though it can rain all it wants to, but that earth box, because of the lid on it, the cover there, the white cover, it's just not going to get that much water down in it. So you do have to add water, but it's just not going to it's not going to drown out. None of these, we've had a week of rain, and some of these are looking bad due to mildew, but not because they're overwatered. So that's why, if you want to know why I'm doing containers, I can't fight Mother Nature. I know farmers been trying to do it for years, but it's tough. And so anyway, all right, I know this has been long, but I thought you might want to take a look at the garden. So anyway, that's it. We're gone.